Hello. I'm recording in a hotel this time. Staying home for one night only. So, nice hotel, nice room. It is. Lots comfortable bed and stuff. And very nice, hotel. This is that told me and people work that told me. So anyway, I'm reviewing really terrible movies. Oh boy. More than one, obviously. If you see the title of the video, I'm reviewing, three movies. Captain Marvel, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Iron Man 3. Wanna know what the best part about this one's? These movies have divisive among audience, all three of these movies. Others hate, others love it, others feel in between. I probably would be the one that feels somewhere in between all of these, or love them, if the color wasn't absolutely goddamn looks like garbage. The color contrast, also known as color grading, also known as color temperature, also known as Technicolor, originally known as Technicolor. That's been around since 1915, back when black and white was a normal thing. Which was back when the first American motion picture was made, called Birth of a Nation. That I also reviewed. Pretty good movie, actually. It's a little far out there, but it's not bad. A little far-fetched getting the Ku Klux Klan be the heroes in the third act, but other than that, but still, it's pretty good. I seen if you can just not mind the absolutely out lie that is a straight out lie that the Ku Klux Klan are good guys. That's when in reality they're fucking monsters. I hear, and I can only say here and what I have heard about them from history because I can't say I know one, so therefore I can't say no. Only I hear. So, but now these movies on the hand, I know they're bad. Really bad. It's okay. You know what? The problem with these movies, they go into really absurd territory based on how they tell their free act structure of movies. Each one of them. Of the three movies I'm reviewing, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 3, and Spider-Man Far From Home, this sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. Which is also the sequel to Infinity War, which is also the sequel to Endgame, and it's, oh my god. Yeah, so basically, don't understand why Peter doesn't want to be Spider-Man. It's probably because he, that's kind of the problem with this movie. Unless you haven't seen Infinity War or Endgame, you're going to be kind of lost why Peter is afraid to be Spider-Man and just wants to avoid it. It's because he died and then come back from the dead many years later. And like 10 or 20 years later, he came back from the dead, and this takes place right after he comes back from the dead. He comes back after the dead is the year Endgame happens, and which is like decades after Infinity War events, the Infinity War events in the installment to Avengers Infinity War, which is the prequel to this movie, which is the sequel, and this movie is a sequel / spin-off to Avengers Endgame. So yeah, a lot of that to take in. Might have not been the best choice to have this as the second installment. I think it probably would have been better if they had this take place right after Homecoming, but they didn't. This takes place decades after Homecoming, which is going to be a really big wonder why. You're going to wonder why is MA so okay with him being Spider-Man even after the end of Homecoming. She was suddenly obviously freaked out and was about to say, "What the fuck?" But they edited that out because they cut to the scenes and credit scenes. But Happy, suddenly, and May suddenly have the hots for each other. And I guess I'm. When the fuck did she meet Happy in this franchise, in the Marvel franchise? Is what you're going to ask yourself. And when did it started? And unless this movie was in a vivid color scheme, I don't. And it also thing goes for where the shadows look like actual dark shadows, the colors look bright, very color so much that your eyes should bleed. Like bubblegum music, or I don't know, something that's like you probably like I here's the thing unless this I think all three of these movies there's a lot of story elements that you're going to ask questions about. Wait, why each three ones is going to raise too many questions. And part of the big reason why it's making you raise too many questions instead of a minimal or little questions, and make you ask you a lots of questions, is because, well, two things actually. Three things actually. Three things is, unless you're familiar with the Marvel Universe, you're not going to fully understand or give a shit about these movies. Because these movies kind of live and breathe and also suffer and die on that they're connected to the Marvel Universe and trying to rely on that and for you to give a shit rather than actually making a coherent story and for you to give a shit that's well free act structure. That's a well free act and for you to give a shit or for you to give a shit, which is basically what you're supposed to do in film, is make a well free act structure movie and for you to give a shit and do show, not tell, and not just rely on the continuity that you have established in the past movies before these ones. It's okay if you want to incorporate it somehow, but you probably, for the general consumer, it probably might be best if you don't do these three things, but do the opposite of these three things. For the general consumer, that's like a newcomer or an average moviegoer, this is a problem. And this is not the only times Marvel has done this, the studio. I wouldn't say I will. I mean, the thing is, you have to understand. You have to see the first Avengers movie to understand Tony's PTSD that he's going through in Iron Man 3 throughout the three act structure of the film, and you have to understand Spider-Man's PTSD. Well, I actually don't really have to understand Tony's PTSD, actually, because they kind of cut to a scene and kind of talk about that this PTSD's come from the Avengers movie events. And they show clips and flashbacks, and they're also talking about and mentioning it, but it doesn't get too annoying, but I feel like it doesn't get hammered in enough. And also, the color. The color is just bad. It's hard to describe the color in these films. These feel so imbalanced and so stupid and repetitive and boring. Because, it's really the over-the-top movies, the really over-the-top, out-there science fiction movies. I feel like these three need to have this type of sort of really crazy exotic color scheme, because the story it's definitely not for the story, because it's definitely clearly for the action scenes, but it's definitely not much for the story. The story is their story, free action there, but it's nothing goes on to bragging about. Because it's lacking certain layers of the three-act structure of each three movies, Iron Man 3 and Captain Marvel and Spider-Man Far From Home. And Carol Danvers is basically a prequel to the whole concept of the Avengers that takes place after Captain America, decades after Captain America, the first Avenger. But I'm a little confused, so I'm not the title now, because the first Avenger was basically the first, I can't remember now call it the first Avenger, when Captain Marvel's, also known as Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, is clearly the first Avenger because they got, the title came up with because of the name of her plane she rode and that Nick Fury was looking at, or something on her uniform that he was looking at that came with the idea Avengers. They came with the Avengers Initiative, the idea for it. Well, I guess I guess he sort of had the idea, but he just never had a title. It's sort of hinted at, I will say, okay, well, how Nick Fury loses his eye is actually entertaining until you stop to think about this. It makes sense how he could lose his eye and entertain in the contents of the story, but then you stop and you consider all the history behind Nick Fury in the past Marvel movies of in the continuity and what has been established to him about him. He kind of said that how he lost his eye because he trusted a close friend of his. And that's how he lost his eye. And I guess how he really lost his eye is how, I guess the cat ate it or something, or scratched his eye. I don't know. I think he scratched his eye to a point he can't really see. And it's an alien cat, so maybe there's some sort of venom or something that makes him blind. I don't know. Not really explain that part. And then it's not really until the end scene of when he comes up with the title of after Brie Larson left Earth that he lost his eye, and clearly lost his eye because of the cat, because he's looking at the cat after he told this bullshit to make him sound more badass than he really is. So basically, Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe is a punk that likes to think that he's a badass and mysterious and always 10 step ahead of everybody. Because that's what the thing wants to come across, even when in reality he's just a useless jackass that's a goofball. Wow. That's a bit different than Nick Fury from the comics. A lot, and also all the past reincarnations of Nick Fury, and including the Ultimate Fury, which is, I guess, that's what Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury takes the most inspiration from, his design and personality. But now personality backstory, no, not really anymore, because he kind of changed a lot, because it's to a point you're wondering why. Why did we like this character from the comics? Why did we like who he was called when he does? And why did we like him in the first place in the Marvel Universe? If the most interesting about his design was him that he was a one-eyed black person, and that was pretty much the only interesting thing about his eye, and how it was scarred and stuff, and how he loses because he just got scratched by a cat. An alien cat that's a cannibal and can eat people, but still is a cat. Not being any disguise or anything, and the cat didn't do it on purpose. well, he didn't. He did do it on purpose, but was she? I'm not sure if it was she or he. I forget. Okay, this is a stupid movie. Okay, don't think about it. Anyway, the how it happens is when everything seems all good when they're heading back to Earth. Was Carol, flying back to Earth, that cat gets scratches the eye, and one of the scrolls know that it's not just a scratch. And when Nick Fury sees just a scratch, and we don't know what shape the eye is till the end. Then, and that's stupid, really stupid. Might even funny till, but then it makes you ask so many questions if you see the past Marvel movies, and makes you question any Marvel movie that has Nick Fury in it, because Nick Fury's kind of dumb in this in Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, like dumb. Like, he's making Chris Hemsworth from Ghostbusters 2016 look like a genius. And that's quite of an accomplishment. So yeah, the dumbest male that they come. Excellent job, writers. Truly, we have loved this character more that we've already loved. So for some reason, but we don't know why we should believe a single damn what he says, because he's some form of a pathological liar to some degree. So he's a punk and a pathological liar that lies about everything. Wow. Yay, I so want now a Nick Fury movie that for some reason people wanted. I mean, I was kind of on board because I like to see Samuel Jackson and stuff. And I like the whole Nick Fury was hinted at him, but now, honestly, if they do a Nick Fury spinoff show or movie, I'm thinking scary things that nobody's going to want to see it. And I can't say I blame them if they don't want to see it. Just like, Macro Hole's Hulk. But that's another story. So, these movies, I'll tell you the plot from beginning to middle and end for each one. Spider-Man is on his is on his getting ready for a field trip, and these fifth elements. He gets in this guy called Mysterio, who seems to be one of the good guys, and she was working with him. He gets stuck in the middle of it when he's on his field trip. And he tries to, and he just wants to get the girl of his dreams and go on a date with her, MJ. And he's afraid of being, and he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore because of the events from Endgame and Infinity War. Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. Those movies. So, yeah. And so, Nick Fury rigged his vacation plans and his field trip so he can be Spider-Man. Even though he clearly didn't want to, but he was just trying to come up with an excuse for it. And Stark, some reason. Hi, Dad. Oh, hi. And Stark, for some reason, gave him these high-tech glasses, and he almost kills a person that was going to send MJ this photo of him in his underwear. And from very attractive girls, and because he was going to change into Spider-Man, but he tries to do costume on for Spider-Man. Guy got the wrong idea, so he's going to show it to MJ and send it to MJ. Peter tries to stop it, kind of stops, but also almost murders him with a missile. And everyone on the bus with him on it. Because he confirmed that the guy is an enemy. Wow. No, he said he confirmed the guy is a threat. And he says, yeah, he's a threat. he's a threat. Yeah, could you take care of it? And so Peter has to deflect the missile that's heading their way after hitting Flash Thomas and knocking him out cold. So on purpose, so to get the glasses back. So but once he gets the glass back, it's too late to call off the missile or change direction. So he has to use his spider powers. So anyway, Nick Fury points out what he did was stupid and irresponsible. Even though he just wants to keep his friend, he's claims to keep his friends safe. He wants to keep his friends safe. He seems to know that Peter's kind of full of shit and an asshole. This may be the the one of the greats assholes. Yeah, you know how Peter was kind of likable and caring, warm, hard, and funny. And jokes but took the job seriously and actually cared about other ones. And he kept on letting people down and worry about him. But they're kind of going for more asshole rounded Peter, and it doesn't seem like that's their intention. That they're trying and they somehow are digging themselves deeper and deeper to a point when you and deeper. And when I saw the No Way Home trailer, I really wanted to punch Peter in the face and kick him in the balls. Because this is a Peter that just gets worse and less funny, and becomes less compassionate. And just gets less hard, has a smaller heart as the franchise continues. In other words, what I'm trying to say, while Maguire, Andrew Garfield might have been pretty terrible, they at least in some way or form improved. Even though the jokes got, the joke enough, in more than one ways improve until you have to say goodbye to them. Hollins, in this film is, and the whole, what they're trying to do is what Marvel wants to do is they're trying to, how Spider-Man become the more each step he takes each installment supposed to turn him more into the iconic elements of gradually dawn those more iconic elements of Spider-Man. And I get that's what they were doing with Homecoming, but I think they forgot that's what they were supposed to do with Far From Home. It just seems like this movie had two different complete writers that had two different visions of how Peter should be done. Like some ways there's a competent writer and there's an incompetent writer, like Joss Whedon of how he wrote Batman and the Justice League from 2017, and then there's a competent writer like Zack Snyder that wrote Batman and Zack Snyder's Justice League from this year 2021, and those writers seem like the different writers that have these different television how they want Peter to act and it's just colliding like two nice Gran Torino, shiny brand new Gran Torinos clashing each other and killing each other, killing the driver and whoever else in the Gran Torino seatbelts out before they had seatbelts and airbags. And just killing each other, killing it. So, yeah. So Spider-Man finds out that later on in the film that Mysterio is made the whole elementals and being from a different Earths, and the multiverse up, just so he can get the glass that Stark wanted him to have. And Mysterio reveals that this was his entire plan to his crew, and realized it was a very stupid idea for Tony to give these glasses to a man-child instead of an actual adult, which is actually the most dangerous tech on the planet. Now, I want to say something that may be kind of controversial. Beck is 100% right. Peter should not have those things. He doesn't know what a national what AI would consider a threat, a national threat. I'm pretty sure he says, is he a national threat? Well, see, the saying the word threat or bad or danger. You gotta know, Peter. That's like in every spy movie. Anyone who's seen a spy movie knows that when AI assume that, they assume the worst and just going to eliminate the person. Something that you didn't want to do in the first one, but was okay with killing people, was killing in the end game for some reason. But he didn't want to kill anybody, a bad guy or a good guy in the Homecoming one in this one. But so I'm confused, Peter. I'm really confused. I'm trying to get this, but I don't get it because there's not consistency to this, Peter.